माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदान यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् अभय चरणारिंद्र भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। हरे कृष्णा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9, chapter entitled Prahlad Pacifies the Lord with Prayers. So we'll be discussing on this both the verses 53 and 54. I was told like that to discuss on both the verses. So verse number 53 only I will recite, and then 54th verse we'll have proper recitation and all that. So verse number 53. Mama prinata ayushman darshanam durlabham hi me društva mamna punarjantur atmanam taptumarhati. Translation. My dear Prahlad, may you live a long time. One cannot appreciate or understand me without pleasing me. But one who has seen or pleased me has nothing more for which to lament for his own satisfaction. One cannot be happy under any circumstance. Purport. One cannot be happy under any circumstances unless one pleases the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But one who has learned how to please the Supreme Lord need no longer lament for his material condition. Verse number 54. Prinanti hyatam mam dhiraha sarvabhavena sadhavaha Shreyaskama mahabhaga sarvasama shishampatim Prinanti hatamam dhiraha sarvabhavena sadhavaha Shreyaskama mahabhaga sarvasama shishampatim Prinanti hatamam dhiraha sarvabhavena sadhavaha Shreyaskama mahabhaga sarvasama shishampatim Kama Mahabhaga Sarvasama Shishampati. Mataji. Word to word translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prinanti, try to please. He, indeed. Atha, because of this. Mam, me. Dhiraha, those who are sober and most intelligent. Sarva bhavena, in all respects, in different modes of devotional service. Sadhavaha, persons who are very well behaved, perfect in all respects. Shreyas kamaha, desiring the best benefit in life. Mahabhaga. Oh, who you are so fortunate. Sarvasam, of all. Ashisham, kinds of benedictions. Patim, the master, me. Translation. My dear Prahlad, you are very fortunate. Please know from me that those who are very wise and highly elevated try to please me in all different modes of mellows, for I am the only person who can fulfill all the desires of everyone. Purport. The words dhiraha sarvabhavena do not mean in whichever way you like. Bhava is the preliminary condition of love of Godhead. Atha saktis tato bhavas tataha premabhyudanchati sadhakanam ayam premnah pradurbhave bhaved kramaha. Bhakti Rasamrut Sindhu 1.4.16. The bhava stage is the final division before one reaches love of Godhead. The word sarva bhava means that one can love the Supreme Personality of Godhead in different transcendental modes of mellows, beginning with Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. In the Shanta stage, one is on the border of loving service to the Lord. Pure love of Godhead begins from Dasya and develops to Sakhya, Vatsalya and then Madhurya. Still, in any of these five mellows, one can render loving service to the Supreme Lord. Since our main business is to love the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can render service from any one of the above mentioned platforms of love. Om Adhnanatimirandhasya Dhyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Shatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So first of all, I would like to seek blessings of all the Vaishnavas so that I can speak properly in Parampara. I am not qualified to speak on Bhagavatam, but just for my own purification, attempting something. So this particular chapter Prahlada pacifies the Lord with prayers. This is a very, very special chapter. This chapter opens the doors for wisdom in any devotee's life. We see that in our Balaji temple, in front of Balaji is Garudadev. Garuda is there. So Garuda is called as 𝗔𝗺𝗀𝗃. Darpanam means mirror. So just like when we want to see ourselves, we look into the mirror. We want to see our face, we look into the mirror. So pure devotee of the Lord is 𝗔𝗺𝗀𝗃. When Lord wants to know his own glories, his own qualities, so that time Lord keeps pure devotee in front of him. And that's why Garuda is in front of the Lord, because he reflects the glories of the Lord. So Lord understands his own glories through Garudaji. Same way here we have Srila Prabhupada, who is also, we can say, Radha Krishna Gunadarpanam. He is all reflecting the glories of Shri Radha and Krishna. And Prahlad Maharaj is also similar. He also is glorifying the Supreme Lord in such wonderful prayers. So Narasimhadev has appeared to protect Prahlad, and now Prahlad Maharaj, after Narasimhadev is killed Hiranyakashipu, after that Prahlad Maharaj starts offering prayers. So these prayers Narasimhadev was personally hearing. Prahlad Maharaj was reciting all these prayers directly in front of Narasimhadev, and he was acting like this, 𝗔𝗺𝗀𝗃. So this particular section, these particular prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, they are the cream of entire section of Prahlad and Narasimhadev, which is one of the most biggest section in the entire Bhagavatam. So these prayers are the cream. Why? Because these prayers, they give us the insight into the heart of Prahlad Maharaj. What is his thought process? What is his devotion unto the Supreme Lord? How he is thinking? What is his mood? So these prayers give us the insight into that. And in these prayers, especially for sadhakas, these prayers are so important, because these prayers tell us about the glories of the Lord. These prayers tell us about the glories of devotional service to the Lord. These prayers tell us the difference between a devotee and a non-devotee. These prayers tell us about the nature of this material world. Also, they tell us about the obstacles, the anarthas, which come on our path of devotional service. So that's why these prayers are very, very important. Srila Prabhupada, he gave lecture on both of these verses, 53 and 54 in Vrindavan, at different times, in different years. So while speaking on this verse 54, Srila Prabhupada said that each and every word of this verse is very important. Of course, each and every word of Srimad Bhagavatam is also very important. But specifically about this particular verse, Prabhupada said that each and every word of this verse is very important. So the word comes dhira. So dhira means sober and intelligent. Those who are sober and most intelligent. So dhira is a person who knows the soul and he knows the goal. He knows about the soul. He can see the realities of life and he can understand them. He can see the reality of material world. Nasate vidyato bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah, ubhayoropi drushtantas, tva anayos tattvadarshibhi. He understands that this material world is not a permanent place of residence. Nothing in this material world is going to endure. It is going to be lost one day or another. Jai Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Nothing is going to endure permanently in this world. So he understands this, that the reality is actually the spiritual reality. The soul is the reality and the Supreme Lord is reality. These are the convictions of a person who is dhira. And also he knows the goal of life. The goal of life is to attain the Supreme Lord, loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord. So that's what dhira person he knows the soul and he knows the goal. Opposite of dhira is a crazy person who cannot understand the simple things of life, the facts of life. Now, another word which is very much connected is Shreyas Kama. So, a dhira per Shreyas Kama means one who is desirous of long-term benefit. So, yeah. Shreyas Kama, desiring the best benefit in life, Prabhupada translates. Those who want best benefits or long-term benefits in life. So dhira, the person who is dhira, he automatically inquires into the ultimate goal of life. He wants to inquire into the method of devotional service, method of Krishna consciousness. So we know these two words are there in the scriptures called Shreyas and Preyas. Shreyas means long-term benefit, Preyas means short-term benefit. So most of the people in this world, they are after Preyas, short-term benefit. Especially when we say modern generation Z or whatever modern generation. What is the philosophy? Whatever feels good, do it. If it feels good to chant, you can chant. If it feels good to have sex, you can have sex. It feels good to sleep, you can sleep. If it feels good to eat, anything you want, you can eat. So whatever feels good, do it. So that is the philosophy of modern generation. So this is Preyas Kama. They are after short-term benefits. So whatever gives instant benefit, instant, everything is required instant. Turant chahiye sab kuch. Turant, whatever gives instant pleasure, that's what they want. But they never consider what are going to be long-term effects of this type of enjoyment. What are going to be long-term effects of this type of indulgence that they are not worried about. On the other hand, those who are Shreyas Kama, they are the ones who will think long-term benefits. What is going to bring ultimate good, greatest good in long term. Of course, sometimes people may say, we are also Shreyas Kama, material people. We are also doing so many investments, isn't it? So this is also long-term benefit. We invest in mutual funds and we invest in various shares and this and that, so many different investments we do. So that in long term, it's not that we just enjoy in the youth, but so that in our old age also we have sufficient money, we have sufficient bank balance, we have sufficient resources so that we can live peacefully, so that our hospital bills are paid, So we are also Shreyas Kama. But that is also not actually Shreyas Kama, because that is also intermediate, maybe intermediate long term, we can say. But the real meaning of Shreyas Kama means the person should be able to think about afterlife also. Not only within this life. Yes, one may plan for this life also, but one should be able to think, what type of body am I going to get after this life? What is going to be my destination after I give up this body? And further ahead, what is the ultimate goal of life? That should be thought also. So that is real Shreyas Kama, the person who thinks the ultimate goal of life. So that's how the person who is Krishna consciousness is meant for such Shreyas Kama. Those who think ultimate good, for what is ultimate good for them or ultimate goal of life. So who becomes Shreyas Kama? Mahabhaga. Not everybody can become Shreyas Kama. Very few people become Shreyas Kama. Those who are Mahabhaga, very, very fortunate. Those who are very, very fortunate, they only become Shreyas Kama. The unfortunate people, they only become Preyas Kama. But those who are very fortunate, very rare souls, very fortunate souls, they become Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gyanvan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamati Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Such great souls who can actually understand Supreme Lord and the ultimate goal of life, they can attain to the Supreme Lord. Such people are, great souls are very, very rare. So Srila Prabhupada says in that class that Krishna consciousness movement is for Mahabhagas, for those who are most fortunate. It is not meant for unfortunate people. It is meant for fortunate people. So that is how here, 53rd verse also, Lord Narsimhadev, he is saying that Mam aprinata ayushman darshanam durlabham hime. So those who are very fortunate, only they can get darshan of the Lord. Otherwise it is durlabham, very rare to get. Not that everybody can get darshan of the Lord. It's very, very rare to get. So sometimes people ask, can you show me God? But the question is, have you become mad after God? If somebody has become mad after God, then he can be seen. Only then he can be seen. God is not such a cheap thing that just we demand and Lord will show himself to us. Lord, he deserves the right not to reveal himself to unqualified persons. So the qualification to see Lord is that one has to become mad after the Lord. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he showed us how to become mad after Lord. Yugaitam nimishena chakshusha pravrusha shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to become mad, feeling separation from Krishna. Is to run everywhere in Jagannath Puri, searching for Krishna. Any sand dune he would see, he would think it as to Govardhan and he would run towards it. He would jump into the ocean of Jagannath Puri thinking it to be Yamuna. And in this way, every time he would be thinking, where is Krishna, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? At one point of time, this was in 𝗦𝗶𝗶, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there as Nimai Pandit. So he was so much feeling separation from Krishna that he was very intensely asking, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? I want to see Krishna immediately. Such an intensity was there. So Gadadhar Pandit was next to him. And he says, be little sober. Krishna is within your own heart. And as soon as Nimai Pandit Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, Krishna is in my heart. I want to immediately see him. And he started tearing open his chest to see Krishna within the heart. And Sachi Mata was there and Gadadhar Pandit, everybody around, they got shocked. My God, what he is going to do now? He is going to tear upon his body, like this. So that time Gadadhar Pandit immediately, he was very quick-witted, immediately he stopped. He held the hand of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, said, don't be so restless, don't be so, don't be so impatient. Krishna will come. Just chant the holy names. Just chant the names of Krishna and Krishna will come. So this type of madness was displayed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So similarly, even Rupa Goswami, he also says that just like, he gives this analogy that just like the young boy, he takes pleasure, in association with a young girl. And a young girl takes pleasure in association with young boy. Similarly, one has to develop attraction and attachment towards Krishna. We see that when there is a relationship between young boy and young girl, they also become mad after each other, right? They always say, "Main pagal ho gaya, ye pagal ho gayi, dil pagal ho gaya," something like that. The word pagal is very much used because they become mad after each other. And they will see that beloved, when they are studying also, they'll see that beloved's photo in that, and they'll do anything for that person. They'll give up their family and they'll run away from home. They'll spend huge amounts of money like that. So people become mad when they are in love with some boy or girl. So Srila Rupa Goswami says that type of attachment one has to develop towards Krishna. That type of intense devotion one has to develop towards Krishna. Then one will be able to actually see Krishna. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also prays, Vishayera priti hoka ye ache amar, sei mata priti hoka charane tomar. Just like I have got great attachment for sense gratification, intense attachment for sense gratification, similar amount of sense gratification, similar amount of attachment I should develop towards your lotus feet, O Lord. That he is praying for. So we see that in this world people have got great attachment for sense gratification. His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Swami Maharaj, when he was there present on this planet, so he used to arrange, Srila Prabhupada instructed him to start scientific preaching, and he had established this Bhaktivedanta Institute for that scientific preaching. So they used to arrange conferences of scientists in Vrindavan. So many great scientists all over in world, they would come in Vrindavan and they used to hold conferences and they used to have a lot of discussions about, Darwin theory or maybe origin of life, and about, different aspects, the concept of consciousness and this and that. So many days there would be, discussions and seminars and conferences would go on. And then they used to also give grand feast, 24 course feast they used to give for all the scientists. So for many of the scientists that was a real delight. These all discussions where, उनके भी बहुत सर के ऊपर से आता था, बहुत many times they would also could not comprehend what is going discussed there. Prasadam was very good. So once Maharaj, he was talking with one scientist like this. He was probably from Japan or somewhere. So he asked, so how do you feel prasadam? Did you like prasadam? So this scientist said, yeah, these all items are very nice, very good. But I am feeling separation from one fish, which I eat every day in my dish. Without that fish, Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam, fish virahena me. He was, of course, he did not say like that, but without that fish, I cannot feel any food to be good. That fish I want to eat, then only I'll be satisfied. So Maharaj said, we cannot give you that fish and all here in Vrindavan, that also in ISKCON conference we cannot give you. But we see that such an attachment, that he is getting such a nice feast, but still he is attached to that fish, eating that fish. Similarly, some years back, Michael Jackson, he came to Mumbai. Youths were crazy to attend his programs. They were going, they had charged huge amount of money. The tickets were very costly, but the tickets were sold very fast. So people were so crazy to see his whatever dance and whatever other things were there. Very difficult for us to understand what is that. But the young generation was very crazy after him. So we can see that they are ready to pay so much money also. They are ready to do anything to for sense gratification. One is ready to pay any price for sense gratification. So that is the attachment of a materialistic man towards sense gratification. So same way, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that same intensity of attachment should be developed towards the service of the Lord, towards the lotus feet of the Lord. Then actually one can see the Lord, then one can understand the Lord. So actually the Lord is present everywhere. He is within our own heart. He is present in each and every atom. He is present everywhere. But why we are not able to see? Prabhupada would often says, you have no eyes to see God. You have to prepare your eyes to see God. When you will have the right type of eyes, then you will be able to see God. And what are those right type of eyes? Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadarva hridayeshu vilokayati yam shama sundara vachintya guna swarupam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. That prema anjana churita bhakti vilochanena, those eyes should be filled with love. Those eyes, with that eyes, one can constantly see the Supreme Lord because He is present everywhere. So that particular type of eyes have to be developed. So how do we develop such kind of eyes? So there is a procedure. There is a procedure to realize Lord. There is a procedure to see the Lord. So first of all, one has to try to understand the Lord the way He has explained in the scriptures. Because we cannot love the personality unless and until we know about Him. So we have to try to understand the Supreme Lord from the scripture. And He Himself reveals Himself in Bhagavad Gita, how He is. He speaks about Himself. So Krishna speaks that Aham Adirhi Devanam, that I am the source of all the demigods, including Brahma and Shiva also. So Srila Prabhupada says in that lecture that one has to accept the words of the Supreme Lord as they are. So Prabhupada quotes that there was one Indian Swami whose philosophy was, whatever you is beneficial and you like from Bhagavad Gita, you take it. Else all other things we should reject. So Prabhupada says, no, this is Ardha Kukkuta Nyaya. We have to accept everything in total. How Arjuna accepted? Sarvam etam rutam manne yanmam vadasi Keshava. Whatever you say, O Lord Keshava, I accept it in totality. So one has to accept the knowledge from the Supreme Lord about Himself and the whole procedure of self-realization. So Krishna has said, Aham Adirhi Devanam, I am the origin of all demigods. So one has to accept that. Krishna also says that, Krishna speaks about the knowledge of soul. Krishna speaks about knowledge about himself. So all these things have to be understood in totality. So when one understands Krishna's supremacy and subordination of everybody, the real position of living entity to be servant of Krishna, and what is a method for reviving our relationship with Krishna, all this when one understands from the scriptures, so that is a step towards realization of the Supreme Lord. Actually, understanding Krishna and seeing Krishna are tantamount to each other. There is no difference between understanding Krishna and seeing Krishna, because Krishna is absolute. So when one understands Krishna, it is as good as seeing Krishna only. That's why it is called as darshanam. So darshan, one literal meaning of darshan is seeing. Taking darshan of the Lord, we take darshan of the Lord, it is seeing the Lord. At the same time, darshan also means philosophy. Philosophy of spiritual life, Krishna consciousness. That is also called as darshan. So one understands the Supreme Lord, then one can attain the perfection. Janma karma cha me divyan yo evam yo vetti tattvataha. One has to understand the Supreme Lord in truth, in totality. So also, so from Bhagavad Gita, we understand that what is the method to understand the Lord, or what is the method to see the Lord. So Krishna says very clearly, how can one see him and how one can understand him. And Krishna says that the method for seeing him and understanding him is the method of devotional service. So one has to please the Supreme Lord, then only we will be able to see him. As here Narasimhadev says, Mam aprinata ayushman darshanam durlabham hime. One who does not please me, he will not be able to see me. But somebody who can please his Supreme Lord, he can see the Supreme Lord also, and he can understand the Supreme Lord also. So Krishna speaks also that in Bhagavad Gita. He says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha tato ma tattvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. Only by devotional service, unalloyed devotional service, Krishna says, I can be understood as I am. And somebody who understands that, he can enter into my divine eternal abode. Similarly, another place, 11th chapter, Krishna says that Bhaktya tu ananyaya shakya aham evam vidorjana jnatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. That simply by, only by devotional service. Again, Krishna is saying same thing. Only by devotional service I can be understood. Only by devotional service, jnatum, I can be understood, and only by devotional service I can be seen also, drashtum also. And in this way, one can attain to, one can enter into the mysteries of my understanding, Krishna says. So, only by the process of sincere devotional service can one understand Supreme Lord, enter into the mysteries of understanding the Supreme Lord, and then eventually one will be able to also see Supreme Lord face to face, as he is manifested in the spiritual world. So that's how this process of devotional service is the method by which one can attain the actual, perfection of life, the real goal of life. So this process of devotional service is understood under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master. It is bona fide spiritual master who reveals us this process of devotional service and the mysteries of understanding of Krishna. And whoever takes shelter of bona fide spiritual master, by his mercy and by mercy of Krishna, one gets all the truths of Vedic knowledge are revealed to him. Yasya deve para bhakti yatha deve tatha guru tasyaite kathita hyarta prakashante mahatmanah. Unto one who has got unflinching devotion unto Guru and Krishna, for him, he is able to understand all the imports of Vedic literature. And this we see from the pastime of South Indian Brahmana. Right, very important pastime in Srirangam. So this Brahmana, we all know this pastime, this Brahmana, he was not much learned in Sanskrit and all that. But he got instruction from his spiritual master to recite entire Bhagavad Gita every day. So he used to sit in the temple of Srirangam and used to recite Bhagavad Gita every day. And he used to completely recite it. Sometimes he would understand, sometimes he would not understand, sometimes he would recite properly, sometimes he would not recite properly. And other Brahmanas used to make fun of him, right? But when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw this Brahmana, that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very much pleased with him. And he went and inquired from this Brahmana, because he saw that this Brahmana was crying tears, that, while reading Bhagavad Gita. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked this Brahmana, why are you crying tears, while reading this Bhagavad Gita? And I see that you are not able to read properly, then why do you read it? So this Brahmana said that, I have been instructed by my spiritual master. I am not a great scholar, but I have been instructed by my spiritual master to read Bhagavad Gita daily. And that's why I am reading it. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then why you are crying while reading it? He said, because when I read Bhagavad Gita, immediately the picture of Krishna being Parth Sarthi, the chariot driver of Arjun, comes in front of me. And I become so influenced, so amazed by seeing how Krishna has become servant of his devotee. How much Bhakta Vatsal he is. He is ready to take any menial position for the sake of his devotee. And in this way, understanding this, I cry. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy with him, very pleased. And he said, my dear Brahmana, you have actually understood Bhagavad Gita. Because the goal of understanding Bhagavad Gita is to develop love for the Supreme Lord, great attachment for the Supreme Lord. And that's what you have developed. So you are the Acharya for Bhagavad Gita. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced that Brahmana. And when he got received the embrace, that Brahmana also went into ecstasy. His tears profusely again started coming from his eyes, and he was trembling. His bodily hair was standing on end. So, and that Brahmana, then he said that, I feel in my heart that you are same Krishna who has appeared in front of me. So this is what is my realization, that you are the same Krishna whom I am remembering every day. So we see that although this Brahmana was, one sense, not a big scholar, illiterate, this, that, but because he had pleased his Guru, he very sincerely followed the instruction of his Guru. The highest truth of life, that is Krishna's love towards his devotees, was revealed to him, and he was able to realize. And not only that, he could also identify Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be Supreme Lord. So this type of great revelations were bestowed upon this Brahmana because of his devotional service. Because he rendered devotional service, he followed the instruction of his Guru, and that's how he could please the Supreme Lord, he could please his Guru, and that's how everything was revealed to him. So here we see also Prahlad Maharaj is such a great example, such an exalted devotee. In fact, the next chapter is Prahlad, the best among exalted devotee. Isn't it? Wherever there is a discussion of pure devotional service, Prahlad Maharaj's name will be always quoted. He is one of the best among all exalted devotees. So Prahlad Maharaj also, his father was Hiranyakashipu, who was creating so much trouble for him. But despite so many upheavals in his life, so much of troubles which were given to him, his devotion was fixed. His devotion did not ever waver. So that's how in purport, Prabhupada says of 53rd verse, one who has learned how to please the Supreme Lord need no longer lament for his material condition. Although so many problems came, so many waves of troubles came in his life, but he was unshaken and his devotional service remained constant. So one lecture His Grace Radha Gopinath Prabhu was saying, just like in the ocean, we'll see that on the shore of ocean, sometimes some plastic bag or something may be there. And as the waves come, then these waves wash away the plastic bags, or they will, they are driven away somewhere else. They go away. But sometimes we'll see that near the ocean there is rock also. How much ever waves pounce on that rock, how much ever they, attack on the rock is undisturbed. The rock remains steady. Same way, Prabhuji was telling that a pure devotee is the one whose devotion is steady in all the circumstances. There may be happy situation or there may be troublesome situation. In every situation, his devotional service remains rock steady. He never wavers from his devotional service. On the other hand, the neophyte person, his devotional service it wavers. When there is, good situation, he may take to devotional service. Oh, things are very favorable. I am getting everything as per my desire. Okay, then I can practice devotional service. But as soon as, something problem, some trouble, something which I don't like, I don't want, then he want to go away from devotional service. So this is a symptom of a neophyte person. But a person who has attained pure devotional service, like Prahlad Maharaj, he remains steady and fixed. And that's why Narasimha was so pleased with him. He says that, last verse he says this. Prahlada bhadram bhadram te pritoham te asurottama. He says, I am so pleased with you, O Prahlad. So, my dear Prahlad, most gentle one, best of the family of Asura, all good fortune unto you. I am very much pleased with you. So, that's what Narasimha Dev says to Prahlad Maharaj. Because of his such rock steady devotional service, Narasimha Dev was so pleased with him. So, that's how is about Prahlad Maharaj. This is an example of Prahlad Maharaj's devotional service. And then further, also another word comes here is Sarva Bhavena Sadhavaha. Those who are saintly personalities, they worship me with all modes of devotional service. And in purport, Srila Prabhupada, he mentions about the Bhava platform. He is quoting these various stages of devotional service. One of the verse from that various stages of devotional service, beginning with Adav Shraddha, Tatha Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, etc., etc. And Prabhupada is quoting from Asakti. So this Asakti, the intense attachments towards the Supreme Lord, it leads to Bhava. Bhava is the stage, Prabhupada says, is a final division before one reaches love of Godhead. So Sarva Bhavena does not mean in whatever way you like. जैसा चाहिए ऐसा हम भगवान की भक्ति करेंगे. No, that is not a meaning. But there is a standard way in which one renders devotional service to the Lord. But it is very individual. It is individualistic. So there are different rasas Prabhupada is mentioning, especially Dasya rasa, Sakhya rasa, Vatsalya rasa and Madhurya rasa. So this Bhava platform is the platform which comes after Asakti and attachment. Asakti is basically attachment, intense attachment to the Supreme Lord. So Srila Rupa Goswami, in Nectar of Devotion, he gives us that what are the symptoms of this bhava. That is also very important for us to know. Because many people may say, bhav ke saath bhakti karna chahiye. We should have mood of devotion for the Lord. Yeah, that's all right. But what is the symptom of a person who has developed that bhava for the Lord, real mood of devotion for the Lord? So Rupa Goswami, he gives 9 symptoms of that. In the 18th chapter of Nectar of Devotion, he gives the 9 symptoms of bhava. So first one is avyartha kalatvam. He does not waste his time. He's always engaged into devotional service, 24/7. He never wants to waste his time, even a single moment. Ayushya kshana eko bhi na labhya swarna koti bhi. He understands this. Even one moment passed without Krishna consciousness is a great loss. It's a great loss. We cannot get it back. So he is very careful to engage each and every moment in Krishna's service. So we see Srila Prabhupada, his disciples, servants, they always used to glorify Prabhupada for this one reason as well, that he was avyartha kalatvam. Always he would be doing something. His Grace Harishauri Prabhu writes that there used to be sometimes long travels from one country to another. We would be traveling, and Prabhupada could not do anything else. He could not do translation or anything else. But either he would be discussing philosophy with us, or he would be chanting. He would chant sometimes for hours and hours. Would be waiting period between the flights, but he would be simply chanting hours and hours. So in this way, Prabhupada engaged his every moment in Krishna's service. Prabhupada used to hardly sleep for 2.5 hours or something, and Prabhupada used to say, even that I am wasting time in sleeping. So that is how avyartha kalatvam. Then second one is kshanti. Kshanti means he is always reserved and perseverant. So in Nectar of Devotion, it is written that although there may be so many causes of disturbance for such a person, but still he remains undisturbed. He still remains very peaceful. He remains steady. So that is called as perseverant. And the example is given of Parikshit Maharaj. That such a traumatic situation came in his life, such a critical situation came in his life, but he was still undisturbed. and he engaged himself into hearing the pastimes of Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is Kshanti, always reserved and perseverant. Third one is he is always detached from all material attractions. Although there may be so many causes, so many reasons, facilities for material enjoyment, but he is very much detached from them. That is called as Virakti. So he does not fall prey to any objects of sense gratification. He is detached from them. An example is given of Bharat Maharaj. That Bharat Maharaj had such opulent kingdom and all best of the facilities for material enjoyment. But still, in the prime of his youth, he gave up everything just to worship the Supreme Lord. So that is the example of Virakti. Fourth one is he does not long for any material respect in return for his activities, or he is very humble. Mana shunyata. He has no desire for any respect. He is very, very humble by nature. So in this regard, the pastime of Lal Babu is quoted. That Lal Babu was one very wealthy landlord in Kolkata. And so many sadhus used to come and try to teach him philosophy of Krishna consciousness, but always used to give standard answer. I am busy, no time. So much things are there to do. What is this Krishna consciousness? I have no time. So in this way he passed many, many days, but suddenly one day he heard a particular girl. She was saying, she was like a kind of tribal girl. She was telling to her father that बासना जलाना है, कि कुकिंग के लिए बांस जो बांबू है उसको जलाना है, तो आप जलाइए वो बासना. But that words hit the heart of Lal Babu. He said, वासना जलाना है. That was ringing within his mind. कि हमको क्या जलाना है? वासना जलाना है. Immediately he gave up everything from his property and everything he just gave up. And he ran to Vrindavan. And then he took shelter of one spiritual master. Now also in Vrindavan there is one temple of Lal Babu is present. We can go and take darshan there. So he stayed, he took shelter of one spiritual master. And on the order of spiritual master, what he used to do? He used to beg. He used to do madhukari. So, such a multi-millionaire person, but he took the position of a beggar for the sake of serving his spiritual master, on the order of his spiritual master. But amazingly, although he did so much of sacrifice, he gave up so much, whatever he used to collect, he used to give to his spiritual master, but his spiritual master would always neglect him. And he was thinking that I am doing so much, I have given up so much. Why does spiritual master not pay any attention to? Why he always neglects me? So then he was thinking, and it dawned onto him that he used to go to everyone to beg, but he used to avoid going to his business rival who was there during his previous, when he was landlord and businessman. So that time there was one rival to him in that business. So he used to not go to his home for begging. And then he understood that this is the reason why spiritual master does not pay any attention to me, he neglects me. So then it was very tough for him that I had to go and beg to him. I used to previously think that how can I suppress him, how can I surpass him. Now I have to beg to him. But he somehow or other, he was so serious about spiritual life that he said, no, I have to do it. Then he went and begged. He went to beg from that enemy, rival. And even that rival's heart was changed also. He said, hey, this person has come to beg from me. So he also gave up his rivalry and embraced him. And of course he gave him dakshina and all that, whatever, bhiksha. And then he came and when he went in front of Guru, that time Guru was very happy. And Guru also embraced him. Yes. Now you are perfectly humble. So now you are qualified to receive mercy. So mana shunyata, that humility. Then fifth one is asha baddha. He is always certain that Krishna will bestow his mercy upon him. So devotee thinks that because I am trying my best to render devotional service to Krishna, so one day or other Krishna will reveal himself to me. One day or other he will bestow his blessings upon me and I will be able to I will be able to engage into Krishna's pure devotional service, and I will be able to personally serve Krishna. One day that will happen. So hope against hope. He's always hoping for Krishna's mercy. So example for this is 𝗏𝗺𝗀 Thakur. There is a huge quotation by 𝗏𝗺𝗀 Thakur given uh, about this Asha Baddha. And then sixth one is that he's always eager to serve the Lord faithfully. Samutkantha, great eagerness to serve the Lord. So he's always thinking that how can I serve the Lord? So Rupa Goswami says that this Samutkantha is the qualification for pure devotional service. Tatrapi laulyam ekala mulyam. This laulya, this great eagerness is the qualification to get pure devotion to Krishna. So he's very, very eager, enthusiastic for all the aspects of devotional service. Seventh one is that he is very much attached to chanting of the Lord's holy names. Namagane sada ruchi. He is always very eager to chant the holy names of the Lord. And we know the great example of Haridas Thakur also, right? He was Namacharya, always engaged into chanting. Practically day and night he was simply chanting. So Namagane sada ruchi. Eighth one is he's always eager to describe the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Lord. He is always eager to glorify Supreme Lord. So that is asakti stad gunakhyane. So he is very eager to glorify the name, fame, qualities, pastimes of the Supreme Lord. And in this way, he engages himself into glorification of the Lord. So that enthusiasm to glorify the Supreme Lord is asakti stad gunakhyane. And the ninth one is priti stad vasati sthale. He is very pleased to live in a place where the Lord's pastimes are performed. So when he visits and stays in the holy places, and he feels very happy being there. So in fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself showed this by his own example, how he was so eager to go to Vrindavan. When several times Chaitanya Mahaprabhu attempted to go to Vrindavan, isn't it? After he got initiated, he was running to Vrindavan. After he took sannyas, then he was running to Vrindavan. Then after coming to Jagannath Puri, once again he wanted to go to Vrindavan. So great eagerness to reside in the place where Lord has performed his pastimes. Priti tad vasati sthale. So these are the various symptoms by which one can understand who is on a bhava stage. So person in a bhava stage, he manifests these symptoms. Otherwise, if somebody is just exhibiting a show of bhava, that is not considered to be real bhava. That is considered to be chaya. It is considered to be a shadow of bhava, or it is a shadow of a bhava. It is not the real bhava. So Hindi we say na bhav ka abhav hai usme. So real bhav nahi hai. So real bhav means these all are preliminary symptoms of real bhava stage. So when a devotee comes on the stage of real bhava, then eventually he enters into this various sarva bhavena, means he eventually renders the service to the Lord in different mellows, modes of mellows, like Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. And we know so many examples of such great devotees who render service to the Lord. They please the Lord in various moods. There are Dasya Bhaktas, like servants of Krishna, like Raktak and Patrak are there, servants of the Lord. And then there are Sakhya, Sridama, Sudama, Madhumangal, and Vatsalya, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, and Madhurya, of course. We know Gopis of Vrindavan, headed by Srimati Radharani. So all these, great personalities, they, with great pure love, they render service to the Supreme Lord in a particular type of rasa. So in this way, one can attain the perfection of one's life. So this is real Shreyas Kama. To come to this stage, the real long-term benefit for every living entity is to come to this stage of bhava and prema unto the Supreme Lord. Then one can be really happy and blissful in his life. So thank you very much for tolerating me. Hare Krishna. Shri Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Time? I'm okay. Only thing, devotees may not be okay.
Hare Krishna.
Unfortunately, I exceeded the time again.
My question, two parts are there. One is about oneself. Even philosophy is so clear, instruction are so clear, everything crystal clear by our acharyas. Still, that eagerness is not there to like you the nine symptoms of a devotee. So, how to develop that eagerness, that impetus, so we can utilize our each and every moment to advance in the toward the Lord. That is one part. And second part, project when we are going outside, explain the devotees and upcoming devotees that please, if you follow this process given by the Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas, it will be very beneficial. But it's like that. We are telling that it's like reflecting back. Oh, उनको कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. They are not taking seriously. So how to take it means how to show importance and inspire oneself also and other also.
Thank you, Prabhu. Actually, I am also in same boat. I also don't have any eagerness for the Lord. I am speaking theoretically, but I have no realization. But little bit, whatever little understanding I have, I can share. So Rupa Goswami says that we should purchase this Samutkantha, that Laulyam, wherever we get it. So wherever we see this eagerness manifested, we have to associate with those personalities. So we have to find out those personalities who manifest that eagerness. And by their contagious association, we will also one day develop. There has to be prolonged association with this type of personalities who have got that eagerness. So, and we see that some of these personalities are even surrounding us also. It's not that we have to go to see some sannyasis only. Sometimes within our own association, there are devotees who manifest that eagerness at least for some aspects of devotional service. We see some devotees, they are hearing always. Even in bathroom and toilet, they are hearing also. A lot of there is eagerness they have for hearing. Similarly, some devotees who chant so many extra rounds, every day. So there is that eagerness. Some devotees are eager for preaching or for rendering deity service or for book distribution. So many different things are there, aspects of devotional service. So they are eager, they are very eager, and we associate with them nicely. We may inquire from them, how did you develop that eagerness? What do you feel is the glory of this particular thing? So by such association and inquiry, dialogue with them, we will also be able to develop that eagerness. So in this, actually there was no time, but Prabhupada in that Nectar of Devotion, that he says that the only reason for developing these symptoms of bhava is the association of pure devotees. This is the only reason with which one can develop these symptoms of bhava. So one has to associate with that type of personalities, devotees around us. So this is what little understanding I have about this eagerness. Now second, as far as other outside people are concerned, that they, whatever we propose them, they do not accept that. They always reject many times. So actually speaking, I was not supposed to speak on this verse. I was supposed to speak on previous verse, which was that Prayana Deva Munaya Swa Vimukti Kama, 44th verse. But that time this our Sankirtan leaders meet was there, so other greats also were there. So, but that time I had prepared the class for that. So in that again Prabhupada writes in that lecture, the lecture given by Prabhupada in that verse, Prabhupada says that one has to find out ways and means by which people will become interested in Krishna consciousness. That is our duty of a preacher, that you have to find out ways and means to become interested. So once in ILS you see that you get opportunity to sit with great souls sometimes. So I was sitting with His Holiness Guru Prasad Swami Maharaj. That time he was not our GBC. But then I asked him, अपना हमेशा का रोना चालू कर दिया मैंने. Maharaj, these days youth preaching is so difficult. Boys are not responding, this, that. Maharaj said that, do you feel Krishna is no more attractive? Now? This is what you think? Krishna is no more attractive? He said, no, Maharaj, he is still attractive. He said, then why do you blame the boys? The blame goes to you. You should find out the ways and means to attract them. So you have to think of the ways and means to attract them. That is your duty. So Maharaj gave nice blow to me. So that's the way, So later on, when I was preparing for this verse, that time I remembered that Maharaj had told similar thing, that the preacher has to find out the ways and means to attract the people to Krishna consciousness. So there could be various ways. That's why one has to, Prabhupada said that we have to scratch our brain for that, how to attract people to Krishna consciousness. And then they'll take it. There are various ways. I am okay. This class is over as such.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for a very wonderful class. This word you quoted, Mahabhaga, so you were referring to Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, those are very fortunate. They come to Krishna consciousness. But sometimes when we are in ups and downs, and let's say during yatras, our rounds are remaining, so we wonder, who brought me to Krishna consciousness? So the thought process goes in different direction. And although it is a good fortune, but in my case, at least in this stage, we are always thinking that how do I realize this fortune and we don't lose this fortune, because it may happen. Like many devotees we hear, they went back to the previous life. Even in Prabhupada times, after Prabhupada left, they also left the movement and went back to the old habits. So Prabhuji, how to understand this? Hare Krishna.
It is not that Prabhupada, the time those who left the movement and they went out of Krishna consciousness are the ones they did not realize the importance of devotional service or something. It is a fact that we are practicing devotional service in material world, and sometimes the person may fall prey to some sense gratificatory habits, some weakness of heart. That may happen. But we see that even they are very grateful to Prabhupada. They have great appreciation for Prabhupada. So many of them, most of them actually, they cherish their days in Krishna consciousness. So it's not that they did not realize the value of bhakti, but probably some issues came in their life, which we may not be able to understand. So we should not think that, no, they are unfortunate ones. They did not understand the value of bhakti. No, they understood, but maybe some problems were there. Now, as far as ourselves is concerned, we may feel sometimes because our mind is always very flickering. The nature of mind is sankalpa and vikalpa, accepting and rejecting. So mind is so vicious that same thing which we like at one point of time, the mind rejects it at another point of time. So we need not go on the basis of proposals of the mind, that okay, mind is saying kitna acha hai bhakti, to theek hai, acha hai. Mind is saying nahi, bhakti is very boring. Oh, it's very boring. No. So that's why we have to strengthen our intelligence through the study of scriptures. We have to strengthen our intelligence by proper hearing, proper sadhana, by which we will be able to control the mind, able to even counsel the mind, that, oh mind, do not undermine the good fortune you have got. And also, so this is one thing, that strengthening our intelligence by which we will be able to bring the mind to the right track. Second way is also to do preaching, because when we do preaching, we see how people are so unfortunate and what kind of sufferings they are undergoing. So when we see others suffering, then we realize how fortunate we are. At least we have got shelter. Sometimes we may say that, but I am also suffering. But at least we have got shelter of Krishna. Outside people, they have no shelter. That's why they take shelter of bad habits and all different things. But we are so fortunate that we have got shelter of Krishna. So sufferings is an inevitable part of our life. But we have got shelter of Krishna, and we have got the method to go out of these sufferings permanently, which outside people do not have. So are we not fortunate then? We are so fortunate. We have got right medicine. The person who is deceased but he has no medicine, he doesn't know what is the right medicine. Person who is deceased but he knows what is the right medicine and is taking that medicine, isn't he more fortunate? So that is how when we preach, we realize also that I am so fortunate. People are simply struggling against material nature. That's it, and without any hope of victory over material nature. But a devotee can surpass material nature by taking shelter of Krishna. So, mamaye prapadyante mayam ekam tarantite. That shelter we have got, the method we have got, and that's how we are fortunate. So, when we keep practicing, eventually one will also become perfect. We will be able to overcome all these problems and all that will happen. So, little patience is also required. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.